Welcome everyone. Today we are going to listen to 4 reporters from 4 different regions of Turkey, 3 coasts of which is surrounded by seas full of different kinds of seafood. First, I would like to contact our reporter Didem from agency. Hello Didem, can you tell us about the agency?
The Asian seafloor, which is compressed by the African plate from the south and the Anatolian plate from the west, is a technically active region that still continues its volcanic activities and has historically created many earthquakes of magnitude 78. The surface water of Asian Sea is around 50 meters thick, with temperatures ranging from 21 to 26 Celsius in summer, to 10 Celsius in the north and 16 Celsius in the north in winter. According to Köppen climate classification, most of the Aegean Sea is classified as hot summer Mediterranean climate. North of the Aegean Sea, the climate is classified as cold semi-arid with cold summers than the hot summer Mediterranean climate. In the north of the sea, off the coast of Western Thrace, there is an oil reserve that has been exfoliated by Greece for 60 years, but it has never reached the end of its life.
Didem, can you give some information about seafood eating habits around the Aegean Sea?
Because of its rich and diverse offerings for fisheries, most citizens prefer seafood while also benefiting of health boosts, which is supported by the Black Sea waters coming from the Dardanelles and its undercurrents with rich nutrients, oxygen and plankton, positively affecting fish life in the north. The Aegean Sea, although rich in oxygen, is poor in phosphate and nitrate. For this reason, the southern part of the sea is one of the poorest seas in the world in terms of fish. On the other hand, sponge fish is another historically practiced business in the southern part of the sea, which could be named as another job call.
Thank you, Didem. Can you also share some fish species around the Aegean Sea?
Among the economic species caught in Aegean Sea, hake, red mullet, sea beam, sole, angler, anchovy, zebrafish, bream, mullet, spurfish, carbuncle, cob, chop, sea bass, white gopher, bluefish, coral, groblet, bonito, sardine, dartex, red mullet, shad, mackerel, and skipjack tuna stand out. According to data of Turkish Statistical Institute, when the average catch of amount is from 2013 and 2021 are compared with the catch amounts in 2022, it is seen that there is a decrease in most species because of fishing unconsciously for years and the pressure of climate change with pollution. All of these have worn out the Aegean Sea, causing a stress upon species and, more importantly, their changed seasons requiring enchantment.
Now, Didem, can you open the reasons for us about fisheries decline rates?
First of all, I would like to start with oil pollution, which is one of the most important marine pollutants. Oil is exaggerated from the seabed and from the ground on the land. Transporting oil by tanker is one of the main causes of pollution. Other substances that constitute pollution are organic and inorganic. These pollutants have potential to accumulate in marine organisms and both cause the death of living organisms and cause great harm to health if used as food as humans. Another bad result caused by pollutants is a decrease in biological diversity of marine organisms. Another one is excessive nutrient input and heavy metals. There are many studies on heavy metals in Turkish waters. It is known that heavy metals pass to marine organisms and from there to humans through nutrition. Studies conducted on edible tissues of commercial fish in vertebrate species in the Marmara and Black Sea show that the concentration of elements such as S and Q occasionally exceed the limits recommended by the Turkish Food Codex. But there is little data on pollution caused by eutrophication in Turkish seas. Recently, with the use of phosphate-free cleaning products, these ecological damages to the marine environment have been reduced. As a result of eutrophication caused by increased amount of phosphate, algae proliferation rapidly, light transmission is limited. Organic matter accommodates at the bottom, the amount of oxygen becomes insufficient and fish die. Changes are observed in parameters such as odor, taste, and color in seawater. The selection of raw materials used is important for the protection of our seas and environment as well as for water conservation. At this point, it is impossible to protect our seas from pollution due to domestic pollution. Habitat loss is observed in endemic sea meadows known as Poisonada oceanida, especially in our Mediterranean coast. The seagrass population, which is like the lungs of Mediterranean due to oxygen they produce, the prevention of erosions and the retention of CO2 is under threat despite being protected. Last one to talk about is plankton overproduction. Excessive plankton proliferation is one of the important symptoms of euploration, which is seen frequently and in large areas, especially in the spring months, and has recently started to be observed in the autumn months. Plankton overgrowth is seen in many of our seas, especially in the Marmara Sea. This phenomenon usually starts in spring season and ends around June. However, the frequency of blooms increased fivefold in the last decade, and this is explained by the excessive nutrition salt input. This nutrition input causes excessive reproduction of single-celled organisms called planktonia. These blooms, which primarily cause oxygen depletion in the seawater, can also cause the death of invertebrates and sea in the water if they last long.
I have one more question for you. Does the fishes coming to your sea borders because of global warming affecting fish?
Well, the first 50 meters of the sea are the most productive area, and we need to protect species that are dependent on habitat and cannot move.
Thanks for the detailed explanations, Dita. The situation in the Aegean is really clear now. Now it's time to connect our reporter from the Black Sea. Hello, Ipek. We know it has high waves most of the time. Can you give information about the features of the Black Sea?
The Black Sea has a coastline of 8,350 kilometers and covers an area of 461,000 square kilometers. Its salt rate is around 1.8%. It's surrounded by Ukraine, Russia, Georgia, Turkey, Bulgaria, and Romania. Its average depth is 1,253 meters.
Which fish species are fished in the Black Sea?
Fish such as anchovy, whiting, horse mackerel, bonito, bluefish, mullet, etc. are fished.
My other question is, can you give information about the history of fishery in the Black Sea?
Fishing in the Black Sea has existed since ancient times. Later, Greeks and Romans started fishing. By this way, fishery became an important economic activity. These legal arrangements on fishing were made during the Ottoman Empire. In this period, fishing was generally carried out in the form of traditional fishing. In the 1950s, industrial fishing became common. In the 1970s, fish stocks started to deplete with the increase in overfishing and population. Later, legal steps were taken to provide sustainable fisheries.
And how much fish do people eat in the Black Sea region and in your country?
People in Turkey ate 7.6 kilograms of fish per person per year. Fish is mostly eaten in the Black Sea region. 25 kilograms are eaten per person per year.
I would like to ask, can you tell us about the contribution of fishing in the Black Sea to the economy of the people and the country?
Fishing in the Black Sea is a source of income for the local people in the Black Sea region. Fishing decreases the unemployment rate. This sector is not limited with fishermen only. There are many jobs working in the fishing industry.
So, what are the effects of overfishing in the Black Sea?
Overfishing is a big problem. Overfishing damages the sea ecosystem. The decrease in the number of fish will negatively affect other living things in the ecosystem. As a result, biodiversity may decrease. Overfishing reduces fish stocks and the size of fish has also decreased. Last year, it was noticed that the size of anchovy decreased by about 2 centimeters. Since punishments and controls on overfishing are not enough, these problems cannot be stopped.
My other question is, what are the effects of climate change and water acidification on fisheries?
Climate change reduces the biodiversity of Black Sea by causing an increase in seawater temperatures. While some fish species adapted to Black Sea ecosystem are forced to leave their habitats, new species coming from other locations destroy the sustainability of ecosystem. Another important problem is acidification of the water. The acidification of the water in the Black Sea erodes the shells of living things that people eat and reduces their population. This causes negative economic effects.
My last question is, can you tell us about the pollution in the Black Sea and its effects on fisheries?
Firstly, let me talk about the causes of pollution. Industrial and farming activities in the countries that border the Black Sea play the biggest role in the pollution of the sea. Chemicals used in farming mix with the rivers and reach the Black Sea. These materials poison the plankton and other organisms in the sea and disrupt the balance of the sea ecosystem. In addition, heavy metals, toxic chemicals, and wastes also cause pollution of seawater. Due to the closed nature of the Black Sea, the effects of pollution last long. Pollution increases fishing costs and causes income problems, especially for small-sized fishermen. In addition, the quality of seafood product decreases because of the pollution, which can cause serious risks for public health.
Thank you. Now it's time to connect our hottest region, which is famous for its warm and salty sea. Hello, Akay. I would like to ask, when is fishing most intensive in the Mediterranean? And how does overfishing affect Mediterranean fishes?
Fishing in the Mediterranean is most intensive during the autumn and winter months. Especially between September and March, fish migrate closer to the shores due to their migration and spawning behaviors, increasing fishing activities. During this period, commercially valuable fish such as sea bream, sea bass, and sardines can be easily caught. Moreover, this time falls outside the fishing ban periods, allowing for greater abundance of fish in the seas.
My other question is, how does hunting bans affect fisheries in the Mediterranean?
Overfishing leads to excessive harvesting of fish without giving them the opportunity to reproduce. This results in a decline in fish populations and puts some species at risk of extinction. Species with high economic value, such as sea bream, sea bass, and tuna, are among those most affected by overfishing.
How invasive fish species affect fisheries in the Mediterranean?
Invasive fish species threaten native ecosystems, negatively affecting marine life and in fishing. Invasive fish narrow the habitats of the native species, disrupt the food chain, and disturb the balance of the marine ecosystem. This leads to a decrease in species diversity in fishing and a decline in catch efficiency.
I would like to ask, how does Mediterranean fishing contribute to economies?
Aquaculture production in the Mediterranean accounts for 7% of total share. Species such as sea bream, sea bass produced in the Mediterranean are in high demand in the European market, generating foreign exchange for the Turkish economy. Especially in coastal areas, thousands of people make their living from fishing and aquaculture.
And I would like to ask this question, where is fishing most concentrated in the Mediterranean?
Regions such as the coast of Antalya, the coastal villages of Mersin, the Gulf of Iskenderun, and Anamur are the regions where fishing activities are most intense in the Mediterranean. Fishing activities in these areas include both small-scale coastal fishing and large-scale commercial marine fishing.
My other question is, how does fishing impact Mediterranean tourism?
Fishing creates both direct and indirect impacts on tourism. For example, fishing tours organized in regions like Alanya offer tourists a sea-related recreational experience. These activities not only contribute to the local economy, but also provide an opportunity to highlight the importance of the marine ecosystem.
My last question is, how does the high sediments of the Mediterranean affect fish?
The salinity of the Mediterranean forces fish to expend more energy to maintain osmotic balance in their bodies. This influences the adaptation of local fish species to the food chain and enhances the flavor of the fish.
Thank you for your answers. As fishing resources in the Marmara Sea rapidly decline, could sustainable practices reverse this trend? Let's explore the answer to this vital question together. My first question is, how does overfishing in the Sea of Marmara affect the local marine ecosystem, and what steps can be taken to ensure sustainable fishing practices?
Overfishing depletes fish species and disrupts the ecosystem. Solutions include stricter catch limits, marine protected areas, and sustainable fishing methods.
My other question is, what are the primary threats to marine biodiversity in the Sea of Marmara, and how can conservation efforts be improved to protect these species?
Overfishing, pollution, and habitat destruction threaten marine biodiversity. Improved regulations, more protected areas, and pollution reduction can exchange conservation.
My other question is, how is the growing pollution in the Sea of Marmara impacting fish populations and other marine organisms?
Pollution harms marine life and fish populations. Measures to reduce pollution include better waste management, stricter laws, and reducing plastic use.
In recent years, mucilage, which means sea snot, has become a significant issue in the Sea of Marmara. What are the environmental causes of mucilage formation and how does it impact marine life?
Mucilage forms from excess nutrients, suffocating marine life and depleting oxygen. It is caused by nutrients, pollution, and algae blooms.
What role does the eutrophication of the Sea of Marmara play in the formation of mucilage and what sustainable practices can help combat this issue?
Eutrophication leads to mucilage formation, reducing agricultural runoff, improving wastewater treatment, and sustainable farming practices can help combat this.
I would like to ask, what is being done to protect fish species in the Sea of Marmara from the adverse effects of industrialization and urbanization?
Marine protected areas, fishing bans, and stricter pollution controls protect fish species from industrial and urban impacts.
And how does the health of the Sea of Marmara's fish populations reflect the overall environmental quality of the region?
Healthy fish populations indicate good environmental quality, while delinquencies signal pollution or overfishing.
Can I ask, where are the main environmental challenges faced by local fisheries in the Sea of Marmara and how can they adapt to preserve their livelihoods while protecting marine resources?
Local fisheries face overfishing, pollution, and climate change. Sustainable practices and income diversification like ecotourism can help.
My other question is, what steps can be taken to improve waste management around the Sea of Marmara to prevent further damage to marine ecosystems and reduce the risks associated with mucilage formation?
Improved waste treatments, reduce industrial discharge, recycling, and controlling runoff can prevent pollution and reduce mucilage risks.
That's all for today. Thank you for listening and watching us.